Hello and welcome to Channel's Book Club. I'm Olakunle Kasumo, back in Lagos and trying to enjoy what is left of 2020. What a year it has been. A lot of people will call it the year of COVID-19, and rightly so. Fear, panic everywhere, many countries shutting down their economies, and so many things. Many people losing loved ones, difficult, challenging year for business leaders, business owners, employees losing their jobs. And what a year it has been. Nevertheless, a lot to thank God for. Those of us who are here, we are well and alive, and it's great to see the end of another year and the start of a new year. I'm enjoying Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, believe it or not. I just thought of going back and reading the story of the great Okonkwo. If you've never read Things Fall Apart, you better do. One of the greatest books ever written. And Chinua Achebe wrote this book at age 28. Is it 27, 28? Not sure, 27 or 28. I'm pretty sure of that. And fantastic classic it has been. The protagonist, Okonkwo, was a great wrestler. And if you pick up this book and read, you'll really enjoy every single page of it. It's going back in time for me. And that's what we want to do on this show today. We want to go back into 2020 and have a lot of nice memories and, well, the not so pleasant ones too, what happened in 2020. Let's start with the not so pleasant ones. The book trade and publishing industry lost so many great people in 2020, so many great people, and we covered some of those stories during the year. But let's honor them and remember them to get the show started. In 2020, we had many great guests, writers, authors, publishers that we had to speak to via Skype. Of course, movement was restricted in 2020, so a lot of our guests within the country and outside of the country, we had to host them through technology. Let's remind you of some of our guest authors and writers in 2020. How is the United States with the COVID-19 situation now?
Well, the United States, some parts of it are seeing spikes in COVID cases, but some parts of the U.S., like the Northeast, where I reside, I live in the state of Connecticut. So we're coming out of, we've turned the corner, if you like. So in my state, for several days, there have been no deaths from COVID-19.
What's the idea, the concept, the character? I know you have 3 interesting characters. I completely love their names. Starboy, Amazia, if I'm correct, Amazing Amazia or something. And then there is Incredible Eye, So run us through the concepts, the story.
So it's a family of heroes. There are 3 little boys. 2 of them are brothers and 1 is their cousin. And the 3 of them, when they get together, get up to all sorts of adventures. And they're all under the age of 6. So the oldest is Incredible Eye, who's about 5-6 years old, followed by Amazia, who is now 3. And then Starboy, who is 1.5. And he's the baby of the family, and he's just as powerful as the other characters, but they really treat him as though, okay, he can't really do anything yet because he's still in diapers. He still drinks milk from a bottle, even though he can fly and has super strength. So the dynamics between the 3 of them as a family of superheroes is really, I think, unique and interesting, because you have the issues of sibling rivalry, who wants to be the big brother, and they're fighting crime at the same time.
Oyinkan Adeajayi, thanks for joining us on Channels Book Club. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. How is London there?
Well, we're all in lockdown, so we're having to manage as best we can.
Okay.
Thankfully, I like reading, so a bit of quiet time to be able to read, catch up on research.
Oh, great, great. Nevertheless, in 2020, we had guests that we hosted physically, either in the studio or outside of the studio. Let's remind you of some of them. You wrote here that you for many years you worked at least 12 hours a day.
I still work at least 12 hours
Till now.
Till last night.
A lot of young people have this vision when they are 70, they'll be on the beachside in Caribbean, leg crossed, retired, just sipping juice or wine or something.
Sorry. The point is that I've not postponed anything in my life. That's where I am. Pay as you go. As I'm living, as I'm working, I'm living. As I'm working, I'm enjoying. As I'm stressing, I'm enjoying. I'm not for, let's finish work. No, I like to take everything along. My friends know.
Dr. Smith, nice to have you on Channels Book Club.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to have you here.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And well done on your book, Political Advertising in Nigeria. You've been in advertising, mass media, mass communication for so many years, and you have multiple degrees in the field. So I shouldn't be asking you what motivated you to write this, should I?
Yeah.
But for the sake of it, maybe there might be a story, a specific story behind this book. Is there?
Yes. The truth is that there are several books about advertising in Nigeria.
Page 22, a few ones I've picked out that I like.
22.
Page 22.
Yeah.
And this is where I embarrass myself.
Okay.
To the whole of Nigeria, because my Yoruba reading is disgraceful. Okay, so in page 22, you said Ti Odeba ro ishe.
Ro ishe.
No. Ti Odeba ro ishe.
Yeah.
To ro iya.
That's right.
Tí ó bá dé ilé kò ní fún ẹnikẹ́ni ní ẹran jẹ.
That's right.
Okay, let's help out those who don't understand this.
Okay.
What does it mean?
If the hunter should think about the pain and suffering he went through, when he gets home, he won't give anyone meat to eat from his hunting.
This is so hilarious. But it's true.
Yeah, it's true. If you look at the proverbs, if you look at the image here, this was in Borno State in 2005.
Whoa.
We were going back to Maiduguri, not very far away from the Sambisa forest people are talking about now. And this sandstorm just came from nowhere. If you put your palm in front of you, you won't be able to see it. Of course, we can't go back. neither can we go forward. So I was forced to sleep in the desert, in the open, with my crew members. So now imagine me coming back home and say, because I've suffered so much, nobody should share part of my money.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
If the hunter should think about the pain and suffering he went through, when he gets home, he wouldn't give anyone meat to eat from his hunting. You can only walk alone, but the reward is for everybody. That's deep. Odonya Sawyer, nice to have you on Channels Book Club. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Kunle. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you here. You are a professional, work actively in the telecom sector, 9 to 5 or I don't know, 9 to 7, 9 to 9 job. How easy or tricky has it been for you to be writing? You've written a book. I know it's not easy writing a book at all. What's that life like?
Well, I think, you could do anything you really want to do. That's what this has taught me. Years ago, if you told me I'd write a book, I'd probably say no, even though people around me kept saying, do write a book, write a book. It took a lot of discipline. It took a lot of, having almost 27 hours in a 24-hour day and still trying to catch up. But, it's all about the commitment to get it done. So it was tough, as with all good things,
I can imagine.
But I believe, with a book, I see the fulfillment. And so it's the nights of staying up late for me paid off.
Sakadeli. You're going to tell me how this name came about, which I saw in the book. Very interesting. But
Okay.
before then, what's the story behind this book? What inspired you to write this?
Okay, what inspired me to write this? It's always a very difficult question for me to answer because I think it was just the beauty of life. The beauty of life, the experience and the fun and everything. I've been writing articles, but I've never written a novel. And so I just heard a voice, actually, honestly, I heard that voice.
This is a book about a girl,
Yes.
Fatima, that was sexually abused from the age of 5 by her stepdad.
Yes, she thought he was her dad.
Tell us that story.
Okay, I grew up with a man that I thought was my father. And at the age of 5, because I remember vividly where he said to me, say, you're not a small girl now, you're going to be 5 in a few days. And that word kept ringing in my ears. And he told me to lie down. So he kept using his hand on me for 2 years. Anytime he tried to penetrate.
At age 5?
Yes, anytime he tried to penetrate inside me, he couldn't penetrate inside of me. So it was just, but at the age of 7, that was when the first rape started. And he threatened me that if I tell my mother, he will kill me, he will kill my mother. He always have this little knife that you have with spoon and you bend. So you say, I will kill you, I'll kill your mother. Sometimes you say, this is a figurine that represents you and your mother. Then you open your mouth, tell your mother, I'll kill you, I'll kill your mother. I went through that all by myself. It's a continual process whereby I was being raped, and if I tried to pass...
It was not a one-time experience.
No, it was continued. I became like a sex slave.
How would you like people to summarize Biodun Shubanjo?
Well, the Jebu boy who came, saw and tried to conquer, who by dint of canal luck, hard work, passion, the grace of God, played in a very competitive business environment and achieved a little bit that he did.
Mr. Biodun Shubanjo, thank you very much for giving us your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kunle. It's been my pleasure.
I had a good time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Before 2020, who would have thought that book events could be held online? Very few people. There were so many interesting events that were taken online. Book launches, book presentations, book conferences, book fairs, book festivals. There were so many of them. It got to a point I was a bit exhausted attending so many because it's the easiest thing to do, really. Send you a link, you click on it, you are part of it. There are times when I was wearing formal things, when my camera was on. There were times when my cameras were off, I was dressed informally, nobody could see me, yet could enjoy some of those events. It was really, really fun. And we were part of quite a number of them. Many book festivals and book fairs had to be taken from the physical to online. Sharjah International Book Fair, it was both physical and online anyway. Arcade Book and Art Festival, Nigeria International Book Festival. So many events, I can't even recall many of them. But one interesting one that we were, proud to even put on air back then was the Akada Children's Festival. Enjoy a bit of this.
Hello, everyone. I hope you've been having fun at the Akada Children's Book Festival. I am here to chat with you about my 5 favorite books.
Today I'm going to be reviewing this book, What Sonny Saw in the Flames by Nnedi Okorafor.
My name is Tonya Bitamo, and today I will be talking about I Am Not Naughty, I Really Mean It for Akada Children's Book Festival. If I was to rate this book from 1 to 5, I rate it a 5/5 because this book teaches just many things. And my favorite part in the book was when he made friends.
My name is Adeshina Mobulurin.
My name is Mojulu Adeshina. Today we're going to be talking about one of our favorite books. My favorite book is The Greatest Animal in the Jungle, written by Shokwe Martins. What's your favorite book?
My second favorite book is Tribes Apart, written by Mojo Adeshina. So what do you like about In the Greatest Animal in the Jungle?
Okay, what I like about The Greatest Animal in the Jungle is the main character, which is Afuwe. It teaches us that we should always be ourselves and not somebody else. What do you like about Tribes Apart?
What I like in Tribes Apart is when Abu the Hausa boy and Ara the Yoruba boy save baby Amara from the burning house.
I'll be talking about a book called Agadima, Diary of a Housemaid by Chigbo Ugwoke. The book is a lovely and interesting book that teaches you, and you can feel the experience of a housemaid working and all the circumstances she has to go through during life.
When the COVID-19 lockdown was lifted, we tried to move around a lot and we enjoyed our movements. And then on the show in 2020, we showed you quite a number of those visits, including 2 that I particularly enjoyed. One to the Booksellers, which is a massive bookshop in Ibadan. And then another one, a memorable time that we had at the National Library in Abuja.
I've always loved books, and my mother was a teacher. My father was an avid book lover. And we always look forward to the holidays, and even in between school, when we were taken to shops where we bought new books. I loved the smell of it, the feel of it.
I'm at the National Library FCT branch. The National Library has branches all over the country. This is one of the branches here. And who says Nigerians don't read? Look behind me. They come in here every day to read, despite the fact that this place can do with some improvements. It really can. But it's still a treasure house. It's so full of, there's so much information here that you'll just be blown away when you come in here. For me, I've got this fascination for history, and they have these old newspaper curtains that are binded, like this one now, binded. Talking about the National Library has been embarking on a national readership campaign, and that's led us to meet with some very interesting, successful writers, and it was fun interviewing them and having them on the show. The National Library's National Readership Campaign brought some interesting personalities on the show this year.
My father was a school teacher, so this may have a lot to do with my fascination with books. But I do remember, however, that I had more than an unusual preoccupation, fascination with books. I think just watching my father dig into books, it was like a kind of private communion going on, and this sort of attracted my attention and somehow suited my temperament.
And how about the readings and the performances? In 2020, we had plenty of them, and they were quite fun.
As a young mother, I have seen myself metamorphose as my children grew from cradle to toddlers, pre-teenagers, teens. I have been a mother hen, protective, watching over them, first steps, first words, first every. Interesting moments. Oh, I was a chief nanny. I sang. I entertained, I played, and sometimes I just wore them out. I was a baby all over again. So we all grew together. It was pure joy. Then I evolved into the female lioness.
There are as many definitions of enough as there are unique minds. My definition is simply, I am enough. Whether I come in ebony or I come in ivory, or I come covered in shades of melanin or none at all, I am enough. I may come with my nose covering half my face, or pointed like the tip of the hunter's arrow, sometimes bent like a bird's beak, sometimes resembling Miss Piggy's nozzle. I am enough. I may come with my legs straight like the palm trees. Sometimes my knees love themselves so much so that they can't stay apart when I walk. They call them knock knees. And other times they can barely stand the sight of themselves. They give me a majestic bow. Through it all, I am enough.
Despite COVID-19, despite all the tragedies and losses of 2020, it's been a year to learn and to grow and to appreciate the most important things in life. As for me, it's been a pleasure being your host on this show, and I look forward to the next season. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.